We have been waiting 20 years to publish this extraordinary novel. I am absolutely certain you will love this novel because it has been given the stamp of approval by two of the most important and impressive women I know. The first is Marysue Rucci, the publisher of Marysue Rucci Books. And the second woman is the most influential and infallible literary critic in my life, my mother, Margery Karp, who I have seen reading books from the moment I was old enough to understand what a book is. If I love a novel, I usually worry that I'm having a subjective and personal reaction that I can't trust. But if Marysue Rucci and my mother and I all love a novel, it must really be satisfying. And that is the case with Fellowship Point by Alice Elliott Dark. Amazingly, Simon & Schuster signed up Alice Elliott Dark 20 years ago in 2002. I wasn't here and Marysue was not the editor, and the book was orphaned. Marysue, can you explain what an orphan is?
In this case, an author gets orphaned when the acquiring editor moves to another job or leaves the company. And in this case, Alice's editor left just after 2002.
And so we would call the author's agent, Henry Dunau, and we would ask him what was going on with this book. And he would just say, be patient, be patient. And then finally, it came into you. And what happened next?
Here it is, December 2018, and I get a phone call from Henry Dunau, and he said, Marysue, I have fantastic news. Alice Elliott Dark has finished her novel. And I said, oh, wow, I knocked me over with a feather. And he said, yes. Now, the only drawback is that it's 800 pages. I also want to say that the book did come at 800 pages, but we did cut 250 pages out. So it is a wonderfully luxuriant read, but it is also a page turner.
Now, I remember after you finished it and after the holiday, you came into my office and you told me about the novel and you said, John, this is exactly the kind of big, important social novel that you've been wanting us to publish. Do you remember that?
You and I don't necessarily always have the same taste, but in this case, every page, I knew there was a line you could underline. I thought that it was full of wisdom, the characters were indelible, and I thought it was an instant classic. The novel is principally about a friendship between two women who have chosen very different paths. They've been friends since they could walk, and it covers 80 years of their friendship and their lives. The two women have been neighbors and members of a land trust called Fellowship Point on the coast of Maine. And Agnes would like to secure her legacy by dissolving the land trust. And to do so, she has to convince Polly.
And of course, as soon as we had a copy, I gave it to my mother because I was sure she would love this book. So Mom, what did you think of it?
I absolutely loved it. There's so much more to the story too. I mean, besides their wonderful friendship, each woman was so different, but they shared so much. And I was crying at the end too. And I just didn't want it to end.
It feels to me that maybe one of the reasons it took her 10 years to write this novel is because she needed to just get to know her characters that well.
One of the characters, Virgil, who we meet, was at first the main character of this novel. And then she realized that the novel was actually about Agnes and Polly. And that's right, she got to know them when she started this story about Virgil. And Virgil's piece became much shorter, but it was a passageway into getting to know the world of Fellowship Point.
Marysue, Alice Elliott Dark said that she fashioned this book on 19th century novels, that she had to read a lot of Tolstoy and other writers before she could figure out how to tell this story.
That's right. She wanted to write a story with the breadth and the grandiose canvas of a 19th century novel. So she selected two landholders, but instead of making them men, as they would be in a traditional 19th century novel, she made them women. And so she got to get into all the social criticism that a 19th century novel would have, and but also the intricacies of the interpersonal relationships.
I hope that everybody watching this is persuaded. Mom, is there anything else you want to say about it?
Definitely, everybody should read this book. It's just wonderful.
Marysue?
Just what your mom said. Perfect.
Well, we are all in agreement. And again, I don't know how often all three of us agree on things. So that is the word according to Karp and Rucci and Karp.